Hello, welcome to the lately PHP Podcast. This is episode 87, and we are starting this very, very lately in the month, already in the next month, but it's never too late. And as always, I have here with me faithful Artus Sausage. Hello, Artus, how are you doing?
Oh, great. I know you're missing podcast because even before we started recording, you already started speaking to me like we are in the podcast.
Already, also in the mood, and but this time we are going to start talking about a few interesting topics. Not many, because probably because we were talking still about what happened in August. In August, many people go to vacation. But let's start with the usual topics. Let me share the screen here.
Not saying it yet.
Hello. I don't know, it
Well,
crashed. I don't,
welcome back.
I don't know what happened, but maybe some this partition
Your
space.
whole computer crashed?
No, not computer, Chrome. Chrome.
Because you seem to be offline on Skype too.
Yes, I had to log out and log in again. Okay. So let's continue. Now we are talking about the usual topics about related PHP. First, talking about the latest PHP versions, and if all goes well, I'll be able to switch the screen here, if possible.
Attempt number two.
Yeah, oh, Inception.
So it means I'm not selected now, okay?
Yeah, and the topics are here. Well, first we have PHP 7.023. I don't think there are many worth noticing bugs. Just a regular session of the bugs that were fixed. And regarding PHP 7.18, it's more or less the same. What we already had is PHP 7.2 release date, which means that we are getting closer and closer to a launch of this PHP 7.2. I don't know, Carlos, if you have anything to comment about these releases.
Do not use it in production.
Yeah, like everything. Do not buy the first version because it will have the most bugs. But anyway, continuing here, we are going to talk about a discussion that actually did not went very far, but I think it's probably relevant for people that are dealing with large numbers. Often arrays are used as indexes uh, that will use either integers or strings to determine the position of an element. If you have a regular array, you probably use numbering for the index of the positions that you want to store elements. But if you use an integer that is too large, it will exceed the capacity of the CPU or whatever, and will exceed the number of decimal digits, and use it will convert the index to a string, I suppose. That's what I got from this topic, and that's why there was this discussion about the possible improvement uh, for using doubles as array
Yes,
key elements.
almost. So basically, yeah. Just an example. He provides two values. I don't know if you can see my screen. So yeah. So for example, we have index this one and this long one. So obviously, in variable, it's stored as a double to have such large number. But if we
Yeah.
use it as an index, which are in the indexes and keys are only long int, that they are converted to long int, which results again in the same value is here. So you're overriding already existing value because
Oh,
this one overflows.
oh, I see.
And
So there is a
uh, uh,
problem in storing that.
yeah, and basically the Andrew Nestor provided a pull request that would check if key is double and is less than maximum possible long integer, then it just would be normally converted to long integer as it is. And if it's larger, then it would be converted to string. So it would do it seamlessly for you.
Yeah. So I'm not sure yet what was the real problem. Probably it's not a problem.
Don't use large numbers as indexes, and you'll
Yeah,
be
so
alright.
you just should take care if you are using maybe random numbers or such. They will exceed I think it's 68 bit. Uh,
Yeah,
Okay.
just then they need to use string as is, and that's it.
Okay, moving on, we are going to talk about a more specific proposal that is probably simpler to understand because it will basically suggest to use default values when you're extracting elements from an array using the list command. So far, if the list command pulls more variables than the number of elements in the array, it probably fills the missing elements with null or something, I think. I've never tried.
Yeah.
So the proposal is to have some default values for unfulfilled elements. I'm not sure if this is, yeah, but it seems to solve a specific use case problem.
No, it seems actually normal because the syntax itself also is quite understandable. You provide the default values, but also if you would be checking if the value exists in array, then it kind of kills the purpose of having a list in the first place. So having default values right in is, I think, is nice.
Yeah,
It's something I would not vote against. I would vote for.
yeah.
Uh,
This I think this is harmless because it's backwards incompatible. Compatible, so you don't have to
Compatible, yeah.
worry. You don't have to be concerned. Okay, next topic we're going to talk about another discussion that is actually something that many people have been asking for and you cannot do in PHP, but you can do probably in other languages like JavaScript, right? Which
Yes.
is to be able to override the,
Built-in system functions.
yeah, well, the idea, I think you can see here, the idea is to have some syntax like this, and
It's
this
just
would,
a proposition, yes, for him, from him.
yeah. Well, I don't know because if you allow these things in PHP, probably it's open a can of worms in terms of security, like overriding built-in functionality.
So the
I
purpose
don't know.
for the author is to write unit tests, is to have easier way to mock uh,
Mhm.
things in unit tests. But as in this thread, others developers point out that it's actually killing the purpose of a unit test to mingle with outside world with system functions. So you would need to scope them correctly, not
Yeah.
have them. Uh, Another use case where I could imagine is, for example, when a hosting provider wants to disable some functions, they could create empty steps or replace them with functions that throw errors or something like that. But I think
Yeah.
it it may be possible already through ini file to disable some just features, and that's it.
Well, I don't know. At least, well, you know, in JavaScript world, you can always override every object,
Yeah.
every let's say,
Yes.
probably variable of you have in your code, but um, I'm not sure if it will be a different purposes or could be the same thing, and we have this feature built in PHP.
We
I don't know.
actually had a talk with his friends about similar issue just today about overriding operators. So they in C# usually override operators, or you can compare classes, different classes with two equal signs and stuff like that. And I
Yeah,
don't think that's possible in JavaScript. So JavaScript you can override almost everything, but not operators.
yeah. Well, for PHP, despite the bad name, people, it's a reputed language that is used by many people. And okay, moving on to the next topic, it's about understanding the unserialized function. There is, why, okay, I don't know. Did you read this whole story?
Yes, most of it. So this is Chris. Unfortunately, I don't see right now the surname, but basically he and other guy Boris Erdman were creating the code for serialize and serialize around 20 years ago for
Yeah,
PHP 3, and then they had many problems to uh, solve to like able to generate to serialize classes to some representation of string and then deserialize them back in PHP code. So their solution was to just when serializing a class, just generate PHP code and on unserialization, just use eval function to run this code. So it would create instances of all the classes. And he discusses all the implications and how they thought of this idea and stuff like that. And then later on, there were messages from Nikita Popov, one of the internal developers, don't use unserialized untrusted input and stuff like that. So he explains why is that and how current new, released serialized and serialized work and that for many other things that user want, they should not use serialized, but rather some other transformat like XML or JSON data to store the data.
Yes. Well, nowadays everybody uses JSON.
Mostly, yeah.
It's also a thing from JavaScript world on which you can override every function, at least from the point of view of those that really want to change the language. I don't want to change the language, but I can see some use cases. Maybe, I think I mentioned mockups. Wait. Yeah.
Yeah, this is for serialize and serialize.
Okay. So this function is whole. Nowadays in new PHP application, I still use JSON because, for instance, if I want to serialize data to a database,
Yep.
It will be language independent because JSON is everywhere. If you use serialize, probably not. Okay, so this is just an interesting article that was published recently. So now we're going to move on to the next topic. That's not really a PHP topic, but somebody posted this in PHP internals. It was about the Elephant Day, World Elephant Day, and you can, if you like elephants for some reason, if you're a PHP developer and like elephants.
Yeah, you must like elephants if you're a PHP developer.
Yeah, or else. No, everybody loves these elephants. I don't know why. Even very grown-up people like these elephants.
And, you can tell it by how the prices are usually chosen almost always first, the plush elephant.
Yes, exactly, and it's not that women also like elephants. I don't know, even when they are not programmers. And if
they're cute.
Yeah, exactly. If you are a programmer and you are lonely, don't have a girlfriend, grab some elephants, and you grab the hearts of some princess. Okay, now we are going to move on to comment on some articles, not many, just a couple. Arthur, would you like to comment?
Yeah. So let me comment on the first one, just increase the font a bit. So there is a tutorial published about how to create PHP captcha solver with PHP OCR class. So we all know that what is captcha, and if you don't know, then it's a way to test if you're really a human or a bot accessing the web page. Usually how it's done is that it's presented an image with a text. Sometimes it's obfuscated text, and then you need to enter this text in the form. So the idea is that for bots it would be hard to recognize these characters in the image, and OCR is just that optical character recognition. So it tries to recognize the characters in the image, and so basically this class is anti-captcha or captcha solver. And
yeah, more or less.
I did not test how it works.
Yes.
Yeah, it tries. So
it tries. It's very primitive, but because OCR it's not just recognizing letters in the text, it's also scanning where are the letters in the image.
Yeah.
But At least this could be a good start. And
Yeah, so this article was published by Vivek Moyal, and you can also see the examples. So the first we create the instance, and we need to learn different characters and taste. We can save result, and then we can provide images and see the results that we have. So if it's not false, we get some character name. If not, not recognized. And that way we can try to guess all the characters image and enter them in input and beat the captcha systems with our bots.
yes, in theory. Well, anyway, the article ends up with some explanation. This is not a complete captcha solver solution because we also need other parts, but it could be a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is great. Well, on my behalf, I also like to comment on an article that is about something that may eventually happen in the year 2038, which is when we run out of seconds.
Yes.
I mean, positive
Time
seconds.
Yes, there will be negativity.
Yeah, the in 2038, the number of seconds that elapsed since the Unix epoch, which is by the 2000, 1970, it will already pass like 31 bits of seconds, and the 32nd bit is the sign, so it will switch, and the seconds will be negative. So since many PHP functions rely on Unix epoch time system, this will be certainly a problem. So this article by Zinzul Moaz talks about this problem, and they also refers some classes that he developed that can solve this problem in a more or less interesting way, like doing the necessary conversions. But we don't know if this will be useful until we get there. So
Yeah, so it will be like in 20 years.
yeah, I was. Yeah.
I will be 50. I will make some student or trainee do the transition. If I'm still managing projects or something.
I think I have a prediction. Is that by then bots will be programming for you, not people.
Could be true. Yes, they can deal with it.
And you'll probably be struggling to find some space in the planet because nobody will die. The cure for many types, or at least several types of cancer and AIDS have been now found with replacing your genes, the genes of your cells. This is current news. It's not even future news.
This is only in 20 years, right?
No, this is already available now. Not for all types of cancer, but there is already a cure for some. Like if you have
yeah, sure.
$800,000, you can buy yourself the cure for cancer, at least some kind of cancer, and AIDS will also be sort of fixed because it's gene related. I don't know. Will we have a die? I don't know. Let's enjoy the present while we have space in the planet. And,
reserve your space, right?
Exactly. We have to find some space in the Amazon jungle. That will be funny. Well, we were here supposedly to talk about PHP, but there are some other side topics that can be funny.
Always.
And with this, we conclude this edition of Lately PHP Podcast. And on my behalf, that is all for now. Bye.
Bye.